What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It is your favorite dating coach, your favorite men's coach, your favorite masculinity coach, Coach Deep. All right, so it is officially the end of the Andrew Tate era. The truth is, it looks like this guy's going to be spending the remainder of his life in lockup. All right. Whether it's going to be in a UK prison or it's going to be in a Romanian prison, this guy's never getting out. All right. Um, you know, he got his little 15 minutes of fame. All right. Um, Guys like him, right? They'll come in for a couple years and they'll gain a following, right? They'll make some money, okay? They'll be out all over the place, all over different YouTube channels and different shows, and now all over the news, right? This guy's really hit the news worldwide, okay? He is a worldwide known figure right now. But the truth is, in 5 years from now, Andrew Tate will be a nobody. He's going to be an inmate inside of a correctional facility. He's going to have an inmate number, and that's all he's going to be. No one's going to remember him. No one's going to be thinking about him. No one's going to be watching him. All right. His content will either be completely wiped off social media, or it'll be pushed back into the black, dark abyss of social media where millions and millions and millions of other videos and channels are floating around, and he's just going to be another little tiny little nothing of content out there that nobody's going to remember or care about, right? Only thing that'll kind of be lasting, he's got the wiki page, which will probably be there, and then the bottom of the wiki page is going to say he is serving a life sentence in a Romanian prison. Okay, so this guy's never getting out. That's the truth of it. And this is the harsh reality of where men are, right? A lot of guys, I'm referring to grown men, adult men, ages 18 and above worldwide, have now been completely brainwashed to either believe one side, okay? So they believe this extreme right winger side, right, about alpha males and looking at life in this really rigid, crooked, kind of defeated way, and then you have the other end, right? These soy boy, feminist type boy guys who feel as though men are so privileged and men are only in power because some type of gender bias, and that women are the oppressed, and their only sole purpose as a soy boy is to be lying down for women and helping them reach higher places in life. All right. So you have a lot of people in these extremes. Me, I'm a coach who's right in between. All right. Now, again, I voted for Donald Trump, so I'm definitely not anti-Trump, but I am anti-Andrew Tate. I am anti-feminism. I am anti-woke liberal shit. Okay. So when I teach masculinity, I teach real masculinity. Right? I'm also anti-hate. Okay. I don't believe in hating in certain groups. There are certain groups I dislike, but I don't really hate any group, right? I believe everybody's a human being, and that people come from different cultural backgrounds. That's what separates us, is our cultures, and our cultural backgrounds. At the end of the day, a human is a human. I also believe that genders are different, right? A man is different from a woman. We are born different. So, all this BS that Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines and all these freaking morons are teaching men in general, not just younger guys, but I see guys in their 40s, 50s, and above who religiously follow guys like Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines and shit like that. Okay, these types of guys are, again, just inside they are weak, right? They feel as though they're an oppressed man, and I'm and it comes out in this rage bait, okay, and people buy into it. People buy into it, right? Um, Me, I don't believe in looking at yourself as a victim. All right. If you're a real man, if you're very masculine and you want to meet women, especially if you want to meet women, you're struggling in your dating life, right? Playing a victim role is not going to get you the right type of female. All right. So again, so many people have followed this Andrew Tate bullshit, and the era is over, right? As most people know, he is currently in lockup, and there was a news article that just recently came out that his brother Christian, who's also locked up with him with similar charges, was crying almost because he wasn't getting enough food in the correctional facility, in the lockup facility in Florida. Well, guess what? Welcome to United States lockup, right? They don't feed your ass well in any facility in the United States, unless it's a juvenile facility. Now, when I was in a juvenile facility, they fed us freaking good. Like, they used to stack up our trays with 2 patties and 5-6 pieces of bread and salad and a piece of cake and 2 milks or a juice and a milk. And that was breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then we'd get a snack too before bed. They'd take us down to the cafeterias and give us a fucking snack. Usually like a chocolate milk and a piece of fruit, or like sometimes some ice cream, or like some cookies and some juice or something like that, right? But when it comes to adult correctional facilities, which I've been to in Florida and in New Jersey, no, you're not getting fed well, motherfucker. All right? You wanted to commit the crime. You wanted to be this pimp daddy and be this fucking trafficker and shit like that. Be this top G, right? These fucking top G shit. All right? Now your ass is going to starve in a correctional fucking facility. All right? And someone like myself, I'm a true minority in this country. All right? I say this on a statistical basis, right? But when I was locked up, there was almost no people of Indian or even Asian descent, right? So I would get a lot of shit from other inmates, right? A lot of racist shit from mostly black and Hispanic inmates, all right? Well, I had nowhere to cry about this shit, okay? Nobody listened to my fucking little tears and shit like that, okay? So Andrew Tate and his brother, half black and half white or whatever, right? They can't even last a week. It looks like in a fucking facility in the United States. So just further proves the how much of a coward and a spineless, weak men these both these top G's are. All right. So yeah, I mean, the reality is that he's never getting out. All right. So if you've been watching this guy, if you've been fooled, you've been tricked by Andrew Tate and his teachings, right? Well, game over. Reality just hit, right? He is not a victim of some type of conspiracy. He's not some kind of fucking like government person who's been targeted by the government wrongfully. No, this motherfucker was doing some fucked up, grimy shit. A lot of it for fucking pussy, okay? And now this douchebag, this bobo, this bald-headed, bug-eyed weirdo is now going to spend the rest of his life on his knees sucking on some fucking guy's dick in some prison, okay? So who knows where he's going to end up? Right, but he's getting passed around from United States to UK. It's probably going to transfer him back to Romania eventually too. So he's got a long road ahead of him of handcuffs, shackles, being passed around in facility to facility. And yes, your ass is going to be starving. There's going to be days you're not going to get any food at all because they forgot to feed you. Right, they're transferring you to the new facility. This is the reality of corrections. All right, they'll transfer you to another facility, and that new facility now has to book you in, right? They have to figure out what they're going to do with you, right? If you're just passing through, especially if you're just passing through, and they will forget to feed your ass. right? They will forget to feed you and no one will give a fuck. You could cry and scream as much as you want, like Tristan Tate is doing right now, but they will forget to feed you and you won't get your little fucking bag of food. All right. I've had this shit happen in adult facilities in New Jersey, right? These black motherfuckers would try to play games with the food and then I'd be screaming for my tray, right? So it's this, and then the CEOs are always bitches and things like that. So I know the truth. What happens behind these cell doors? All right, behind these walls of correctional facilities. So Andrew Tate, get ready. You're more privileged than I was, right, in terms of a lot of different things. But get ready for a fucking hard ass time in corrections. Okay. And yeah, for the guys who followed him, right? Do you want your life to end up just where Andrew Tate is? Because the advice he's been giving you guys for years reflects his life, right? Reflects his capabilities, right? Because anybody could say one thing, right? But then if they're turning around and doing another thing, probably means they can't back up what they're saying because they're not capable, right? If I tell you, yeah, I could bench press fucking 900 pounds, right? And I turn around and bench press freaking 175, okay? Like, I'm walking around telling you I can bench press 900 pounds, but I probably can if I'm turning around and bench pressing 175. What am I going to say? Oh, no, I'm only bench pressing 175 because I don't think bench pressing 900 is good for you, right? Okay, that sounds like bullshit, all right? So this is the reality of what's going on here with Andrew Tate, right? He's been spitting all this stuff, telling you guys this about masculinity, telling you about guys that about being an alpha male. I don't even know what kind of shit he was telling you guys, because I was never a follower of Andrew Tate, right? I just always superficially heard about him in the papers and the news, other different podcasters and YouTube channels. I've never, the few times I've listened to him was actually recent in the last year or so, right, when he had all these scandals going on. And he's talking about like shit about, oh yeah, this about race and shit like that, right? And he's just regurgitating stuff, right? There's nothing new. Like, there's one thing I watched recently. Andrew Tate was like on this show here in the United States where he was talking about, what was it? He was saying why people in Africa or black people in general don't do as well as white people, right? And then he went on about how in Europe there's 4 seasons, so then they have to, prepare and plan for the winter time compared to Africa, where it's just hot all year long, so they don't have to worry about these other things. So they're just kind of end up having laziness in their genetics or whatnot. That theory, that's a theory. That theory, he didn't come up with that theory. That theory's already been around. I've heard that theory in the past before Andrew Tate was even a fucking name, okay? So, he's just regurgitating stuff, and people just buy into, he's selling. It's all a sale, right? It's a sale, right? When I sell you something, I'm selling you someone else's product more times than not, right? I'm not selling you my own original product. And that's what he's doing. He's selling someone else's product and making it his own, and trying to like regurgitate like he sounds so profound and smart and so dominant and alpha, right? He sounds like a bumbling idiot, and he looks like a homosexual. And that's another truth of it. I know he probably wasn't too fond of these LGBTQs, and I'm not either. But the guy dressed like a queer, all right? The way he was dressed, the way he was acting, he's very flamboyant, right? Wearing all this purple and pink and shit like that, right? That's not masculine. That's not tough. That's not like cool. It looks feminine. It looks homosexual. It looks freaking gay. Okay. So there's a good chance this guy is a bisexual. So I don't think he'll mind getting on his knees and sucking on some cocks in Romania or the UK or down in Miami on some Cuban's dick or something like that. Okay. But either way, if you need some real coaching, some real down-to-earth coaching here in Touch of Reality for where all of us really live, then reach out to me, DesiDatingCoach.com. I'm the right coach for you. I'm the right guy for you. But keep watching, and you will see me on my next video, or you'll see me in person for some live one-on-one coaching. Talk to you.